it to me? What can't be done? I'll do myself. So I slip away. What you run too far? What you losing control? What you run too far? No, I'm wrong to break. What you run too far? What you losing control? What you run too far? No, I'm wrong to break. Face the pain, no escape, can you stop to this? Face the pain, no escape, can you stop to this? Face the pain, rip me into pieces. Face the pain, no escape, can you stop to this? Face the pain, no escape, can you stop to this? Face the pain, rip me into pieces. Face the fear in front of me, I see the image of myself. So
Ultimate Fighter Recap Thursday, and I am talking Tecia Torres versus Carla Esperanza, and then we also had Rose versus Joan Crawford, and back to back. There wasn't too much showing of the girls in the household. They really just showed them speaking about before their fights real quick, and then we went straight to the fight. So let's just recap a little bit on what happened with Carla and Tecia Torres. I was very excited for this matchup. They're about the same height. I thought it was going to be... Well, I knew Carla was definitely going to try to take her down. And Tecia, I don't know how her submitting game really was and how she would do being taken down. I mean, she had problems with Randa in her first fight. But like she's so buff, man. She's like so strong that I thought if she lands a great shot on Carla, that Carla would go down. But overall, my impressions into this fight that I thought Carla would win, and that's the case. What happened here? Carla was relentless. She was pursuing those takedowns like a mad woman. She would do a single leg, and Tecia Torres did a great job in this fight by not allowing her to take her down in the beginning. I mean, Carla had to do a bunch of attempts before she actually got Tecia down, because Tecia is so strong and she was well trained for the takedown with Carla, because Carla's thing is she loves to wrestle with you. Submission-wise, it didn't look too pretty in this fight. She definitely was shaky. She wasn't as impressive as I thought she would be, but she was relentless, and that was great. She would get the single leg, like I said, and she would really pursue that. I mean, she was getting freaking punched in the face. Anything Tecia Torres could do to get Carla off her, but Carla still was relentless and got her down a couple of times. And when she got her down, she did really well into pretty much being the dominant position and scoring points. And Tecia did really great as well. Tecia really came out and really defended well. I never had a sense that she was really in trouble. She would make some transitions on the ground. Her overall ground game wasn't like that. That's something she really needs to work on, especially working on her back and, tempting these submissions, because you can't just go in there with just all power, and you can't just go in there nowadays with just relying on not letting the person take you down. Chuck Liddell did a great job in just not allowing anybody to take him down, and he would make them pay for it if they attempted. But nowadays, that was back in the day. Now we're in the age where you need your overall game to lead you to victory, and I think Tecia Torres definitely needs to work on that ground game. If she does, she's going to be a monster, because she was really good. She was connecting on the shots with Carla. Carla was hurting, but overall this fight was definitely a close one. It was evenly. I thought one round could have went to Tecia, or it could have went to Carla. It was very hard to score that first round, and then the second round was very hard as well. But, well, not too hard, but Carla definitely, I could see why she won. It's because she did get those takedowns, and she was relentless, and she did land a few shots. But, I was never afraid that Tecia Torres would get submitted, because Carla doesn't seem like she knows that too much of her jiu-jitsu game in her submission game. is okay. It's not the best. Her wrestling game is really top notch, though. She knows how to transition when she's on the ground. She knows what she's doing. She tried to get her back a couple of times. She actually jumped on her back, but let it go. I mean, it's really hard when you have a tough opponent like Tecia, because you got to give it to Tecia, even though she got her second chance. And I believe that Dana White should have brought somebody up from the auditions, from the auditions, the best one that didn't actually wasn't able to come to this household, but Dana White gave Tecia another chance. I thought Tecia did a great job. I mean, I don't know why all the girls were hating. They would have took that opportunity to fight again if they can. So it was a great fight. Well, it was an okay fight, honestly. It wasn't too impressive by Carla. I thought Carla would be more dominant than that, but she's going to really have to step up her game because she's going to be facing Jessica Panay, and Jessica Panay is a beast. Her striking is so pinpoint, but not only that, she could handle the ground. She could handle Carla's wrestling, and Jessica Panay is I think she is the best. I don't want to say the best fighter, but she's the best overall rounded fighter. And I guess those two are friends. I mean, last time I saw Jessica Panay I don't remember seeing Jessica Panay with Carla at all during the show, but I guess these two are friends, and that makes it a little bit more difficult when two friends are fighting each other. But you should want the opportunity. I think having a friend, fighting a friend, just really makes it more interesting and all that. But if you're rivals with your friend, I mean, it's like playing Madden, right? You want to beat your friend at Madden, or if you're doing any sports like basketball or whatever, you always want to beat your friend. So I think there's going to be a lot of competitive spirit when that fight starts. So Carla versus Jessica, cannot wait. Hopefully I wasn't spoiled when I saw the Tough Enough talk. It really sounded like these girls kind of won, but I'm not sure. I know DirecTV really spoiled the hell out of it if you have DirecTV. But Jessica, Carla, can't wait for that fight. Now let's move on to Rose and Joan. I love Joan. Joan is a great personality. She stood up when Magana was pretty much booing. I believe, who was she booing? She was booing somebody. Joan really said, you need to stop and you need to act mature. This is ridiculous. And then Joan defended Randa too when Randa was getting picked on. So I like Joan. And I know what, her first fight wasn't too impressive. But going into this one, I really thought she would give a fight to Rose. But even though I thought Rose as well would win, because Rose is just a beast. She's a monster. On the other side, Jessica Panay is the overall best fighter in my opinion, but Rose has that aggressive. She is right there. She's an unorthodox fighter. Rose is. She knows how to use those kicks, which is great. I always say in MMA they don't use kicks enough. They just really go for that punching power, but those kicks will hurt way more than those punches if you land it right and if you train your legs right. So Rose versus Joan. I thought Joan would give her a fight, and she did. It was a great fight. I couldn't believe what the coaches were saying I think it was Melendez. I believe it was Melendez who was saying that Rose was never in trouble, that Joan basically, that Rose pretty much had the fight locked down, but no. Rose was having a little bit of trouble. Joan was freaking striking and putting the punches to her. She came out and she was not afraid of Rose, which was great. I didn't realize how lengthy Joan was, so it really matched Rose because she's lengthy as well. And there was definitely a lot of athleticism in this fight, especially when Rose did this crazy ass spin move to get out of the way, to get out of the corner basically of the cage. So, there's no corners, but to get away from the cage and really create some space. Everything was great. I mean, the strikings were great. It was really, in my point, not evenly, but it was definitely a fight. I did have Rose winning, but she was having a tough time with Joan in that first round. The second round, Joan, it was short. Joan came in. She landed a couple punches, but Rose, she got her on the ground. She got a Kimura, and that's it. That's all you could say. She got a Kimura, and Joan had the tap. Rose was trying to attempt a lot of Kimuras during the fight, especially the first round, and I thought she would get it, but she didn't. But Joan was just, Rose, pardon me, was so relentless on trying to get a submission because it seemed like she was trying to get submissions all night, or pretty much, and she ended up getting it. And you got to give it to Joanne. Even though she lost, I give her props. I mean, she came out there fighting, not scared. Even though she's probably the nicest person in the house, she's the most, I think, fearless person in the house. Because Rose, she's just a beast. And we saw her first fight. I forgot who that. She's very intimidating. She's very aggressive. She'll just go straight at you, and those kicks are just ridiculous. So Joanne going in there and really giving it to Rose was great. Excuse me. Excuse me. But yeah, so Rose moves on, and she's finding my girl Randa, and I cannot wait for this fight. You don't see Randa really interact with anybody except the bullying with Felicia and Carla and stuff. But you don't see her really interact with a lot of people, and that's what I like about Randa. She's not there to make friends. She's not there. She's quiet. She's not there just... I remember seeing the episode where the soccer players came in, and Randa was very quiet. She didn't look like she wanted to be there. She probably wanted to train, which I love. She's very focused. She wants the belt. So Rose versus Randa, these are two kind of opposite people. Rose is an overall just fantastic, unorthodox fighter. Randa, her striking needs to improve, but when she gets you to the ground, you better watch out. She knows exactly what she's doing on the ground. So, and her striking's not all too bad, but I think it does need work. So, if her and Rose strike, I think Randa, it's definitely going to be a tough day for Randa. I think she'll lose the striking battle, but if she somehow gets Rose to the ground, even though Rose has submitted her last two opponents, I think Randa can get her and really, I think she could beat her on the ground, honestly. So, but it's going to be a great fight. Can't wait. I hope Randa wins. I love Rose too, but I want Randa to win the belt, the whole thing. Actually, I want Randa to face Carla, but I don't know if Carla's going to beat Jessica Panay. Jessica Panay is just so good. I'm going to have to go Jessica Panay on her fight with Carla. She's going to move on to the title belt. And I think I'm going for Randa. I said a while back that Rose will probably go to the title fight. And if I was a betting man, I would bet that. But in my heart, I want Randa to win. I want her to go claim the belt. She is definitely the face of this division or weight class. I think she's just amazing with her competitive spirit and her underdog spirit, her fearlessness, her commitment. She has everything that you need to be a champion. So I can't wait to see that fight. But if Rose does win that fight, I won't be mad at all, because Rose definitely deserves, all these girls definitely deserves that title shot. And I can't wait for the whole, we had a listing of basically who was fighting who when the championship bout does arrive. Now, guys, I'm also going to be doing a recap on Ultimate Fighter. This Saturday, we have Johnny Hendricks versus Robbie Lawler. And we also have, I can't wait, Pettis versus Melendez. I want Melendez to win, but Pettis is such a beast. Both these guys are beasts. Pettis is so good, and like the unorthodox thing, he does that. But I think it's going to be a slugfest. There'll be a lot of times they're going to go to the ground, but it's definitely going to be somewhat of a slugfest. I don't think it's going to go all the way. I think something's going to happen, either a knockout or submission, most likely submission. So I can't wait for Melendez versus Pettis. Going to be a great fight. I like both fighters. They're they're both just really tough guys, and they're both beasts. So let's see. Can't wait, and I'll recap that on Saturday. So thank you guys for listening. That's Ultimate Fighter recap. What do you think? You think basically who do you think is going to win? You think Jessica's going to win against Carla, or Carla against Jessica, or do you think Rose is going to win against Randa, or are you going for Randa beating Rose? Either way, great. We're going to have some great fights next week for Ultimate Fighter. So thank you guys for listening. If you like this video, please push the like button, and please subscribe. I make videos every single day, and thank you guys for listening.